Welcome to the first episode of our drum recording tutorial. We're going to start real simple with a single microphone. You may have thought that it's impossible to record drums with only one mic, but it can actually work pretty well, and sometimes it may be your only option. If you're a drummer yourself and you don't own your own set of mics yet, the only thing available may be a vocal microphone. If you keep a few things in mind, you can get pretty decent results this way. You won't be able to do a professional-grade production with this technique. But if you'd like to capture ideas during rehearsal or keep track of your practice sessions, one microphone in the right position can work just fine. And if you're lucky, you may even capture the golden take, which may end up on the record after all. We'll show you how it works right now. To record drums with a single microphone, you need to keep in mind the two main instruments of the drum set: the bass drum and the snare. It usually doesn't work to fix their balance later using any cue to bring up the bass drum or the snare, because their frequency ranges overlap quite a bit. The bass drum has some very important signal components in exactly the same range as the snare. That means that we have to find a position where these two instruments are well balanced in the microphone signal. When I'm not playing the drums myself, I usually grab some headphones. It is best to use closed headphones that don't let in much of the direct signal. Then I take the microphone and just walk around the drum set, listening to the sound. I'll show you some sweet spots that have been proven to be good starting points. You can start by placing the mic there and then experiment on your own. While you're trying microphone positions, experiment with the distance and the height of the mic as well. I have now found a typical position that usually sounds pretty good. However, the high tom and the crash cymbal can be very loud here. If the microphone is placed too high, this can be a problem. So the drummer should take it easy on the crash, or this position may not work that well. Here, in the lower position, the bass drum and snare drum are well balanced. The floor tom, however, is so far away that it will be pretty quiet in comparison. You'll have to live with that. But for standard grooves that consist of bass drum, snare drum, hi-hat and ride and crash cymbals, you can get decent results in this position. In this position, the set sounds well balanced, especially the two toms. The floor tom is not too loud. I had some concerns that the ride would be too dominant, but this particular one is not a very loud cymbal, and it works just fine. The bass drum is very powerful here, and it becomes even more dominant if I move the microphone away from the set. The snare drum is far enough away so it's not overpowering, but you will pick up quite a bit of rustle from the bottom. The hi-hat is also far away, so you'll have to make sure the position works with your particular instrument and how it is played. If the drummer plays a lot of open hi-hat, it'll have no trouble making it over here. However, some more intricate hi-hat work may be drowned out. But all in all, I'm quite happy with this position. It sounds pretty good. At first, I stood on the other side and I was pretty happy there until Chris started to play the open hi-hat, which was way too loud. This position, however, tends to work great and sounds very natural, especially for the drummer himself. It's not far from his ears, and if you're a drummer yourself, you're used to hearing your set this way. I liked it even better as I moved closer and changed the angle around. The toms are well balanced, the same goes for the snare and the bass drum. The hi-hat sounded great, and even the crash, which is a bit far away, worked quite well. The ride cymbal has a strong ping up here. I'm really happy with this position. Not bad for a single mic. Another popular position is the overhead position. It has the advantage of being well balanced, with the possible exception of the bass drum, which can lack some fundamentals. The snare can be a bit too loud in comparison, but it usually sounds very good, because the bottom is less pronounced. You should start about 20 to 30 centimeters above the drummer's head, and then experiment moving the mic back and forth, paying special attention to the bass drum. It's a good idea to start in the center of the drum set. If you notice an imbalance, you can always vary the position. I usually aim the mic about halfway between snare and bass drum. Now we've tried 4 different mic positions. You can now compare them directly as I play.
Damit ihr einen hoffentlich optimalen Vergleich habt.
Overall, we like the third position the best. Now let's listen to it using a condenser mic.